Welcome back to the Prophets of IT, the show where IT leaders pull back the curtain and share what actually works in running a tech business. I'm Jim Punzenberger, founder of ManagedProspectingSystem.com, former MSP owner, and author of $0 Advertising Strategies. I built this show to put a spotlight on the people in the industry who are out there building real companies, solving real problems, and dropping real wisdom along the way. Before we jump in here, I'd like to quick shout out to our sponsor today. This episode is brought to you by ManagedProspectingSystem.com. If you own an IT company and you're tired of word of mouth being your entire sales strategy, this is for you. Check out ManagedProspectingSystem.com after the show. We're a done-for-you B2B prospecting system built specifically for IT service businesses. LinkedIn outreach, SEO, content, cold email, we handle it all by somebody who's actually owned, operated, and sold an MSP. That's me. Go check out ManagedProspectingSystem.com after the show. I'm excited to have Stefano with me today. He's founder and CEO of JeanComputech, a IT telecom and infrastructure solutions company serving businesses across Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and New Hampshire. Excuse me there. It's been 8 years and growing, I see, for you, Stefano?
Yes, it has. 8 long years, 8 interesting years.
And not to mention you're a Red Sox fan and a fan of Drake. Uh,
Yeah, yes.
great. Drake has some great beats here. I love the
Yes.
beat.
Yeah, so he does have actually one particular song that resonates, because like I said, 8 years, they have been like quite a long journey.
Mm-hmm.
And that one particular song is kind of like my theme songs of playing every time that I hit, a mark, and it's be like, yeah, I gotta play that theme song. So yeah.
Yeah, you got to party with your theme song.
Yeah, we have no choice. Definitely. And again, thank you, Jim, for having me today. I mean, for me, it is an honor being part of your podcast today. And I mean, I'm ready for all the questions you have. And yeah, let's get
All
started.
right, I'm ready to ask them then.
All right.
So let's jump right into it. Every guest on Prophets of IT brings what we call a truth bomb, something that the industry believes that you think is, or they think is flat out wrong. You actually gave me two great ones. So I want to unpack both. Start with the big one. Um, that the mindset that IT costs money.
Hmm. Um, it Nowadays it does. It's a necessity. It's a priority, right? Back in the day, you don't really, focus on IT. You don't really care on the equipment too much. Cybersecurity. I mean, we still had hackers, but cybersecurity was not a thing. I mean, nowadays you cannot even have an insurance without having a cybersecurity insurance. In that one package. So, it is a priority. It is something that anybody who's doing any type of industry, they need to prioritize a budget specifically just for your IT. Yes.
And so uh, I guess I also think that there's a big a misconception out there that small businesses don't need cybersecurity.
Oh, no, definitely not. It doesn't matter what size you are. It doesn't matter at all. I don't care if you were like a one person running show to a $20 billion industry, right? Matter of fact, the smaller you are, the more serious you should take cybersecurity. The most important you should prioritize your IT, the smaller that you are. Because on the bigger scale, yeah, they already have that budget. But on the smaller scale, yes, I do understand The challenge comes to certain MSP providers prefer to work with a specific number of users or specific clients than other ones. I understand that, but there is also a lot of MSP who's willing out there to work with a one person's business. So no, that's not actually that's definitely not an accurate statement. So
Yeah, so also I think uh, that part of the misconception is that because they're small, hackers don't care about them and won't target them.
no, so I'm gonna actually describe a situation. So I had actually a potential client who reached back to me back in November, right? Because I used to be an MSP, and I get into the data center industry. I become an ISP in 2020 during COVID, and it's been like 5 years, actually 6 years now being an ISP, and I love it. So I kind of like wanted to pivot a little bit back to the MSP side. So I have this potential client who reached back to me, and they turns out to be um, a medical supplier, right? You know, the patient need wheelchairs or anything like that for patient related. So call me up because printer did it, couldn't print. So I'm like, okay, do you have an IT person? They're like, no. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna come down. They're in New York. Like, I'm gonna come down and do a survey. And at first, I'm like, oh, I'm surprised. You guys are using Gmail, your personal Gmail account for a medical supply store. And I'm like, did you guys go through the state audits? They like, yeah, we did, and we passed it. I'm like, huh? Maybe New York is less rigid than I thought Massachusetts could be. But when I went there, they had zero. When I say zero, zero. Like they did not even do the inspection because while I was there, the receptionist said, "Hey, we just found out that the state might drop by, but we don't know when." Right? And I'm like, "Well, guys, you definitely gonna fail because one, you're definitely violating every single HIPAA compliance. You're taking credit card, and your credit card machine is using a a Dream machine from Ubiquiti. Yes, it's a good, piece of hardware, but it's not even set up the right way. Your credit card machine is supposed to be hardwired. Your computer is supposed to be hardwired. Not to mention that computer have zero login. You literally can shake the mouse, Jim, and the screen just pop up with patient record save on the desktop. So as we speaking, he never called again because I'm like, to get started, at least you need a good significant amount just to get started on the wiring side. So no, it doesn't matter if you again, it doesn't matter if you're one person. Matter of fact, the hackers will target you first because they already know the small businesses, the one guy shop is more vulnerable. He's not gonna pay attention to certain things because they don't think that they that big enough. But no, because they just need that one machine, get into it, they mesh it out to another machine, and that's basically how the things work. So it doesn't matter. You need to be protected, even though if it is at your house.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's shift gears here a moment. Let's talk about
Mhm.
what makes you different as an operator. You described your superpower as seeing the system behind the problem. Most people see a broke computer or a slow network. You see infrastructure, workflow, risk exposure, growth ceiling. You want to unpack that for me?
Yeah, absolutely. So I I usually am the type of person that like to use analogy a lot, Jim.
Hmm.
And I'm going to use the car analogy. You got the car manufacturer who actually build the car, right? You got the person who's the driver, you got the salesperson. I happen to be the manufacturer, meaning that I know every piece that goes inside of the engine. And I love being in the engineering side. So that's where I'm leading to with that. Being on the engineering side, with when you build a network, like my network, when I build it. There is a possibility that a hacker can hack me in mine, right? So from the get-go, I make sure I prevent certain things from happening in my network. from the get-go. Like for example, if I provide internet service to a client, I have IPS and IDS running from the get-go. So now when I hand off that IP address, that connection to the client, they of course they're gonna have their own firewall. That's literally double of the prevention, double of the detections. So that's what I actually meant by that being, yeah.
Hmm. All right. And every great operator also typically has a moment where something went sideways and they laugh themselves, laugh at themselves, laugh at something they could have,
Mm-hmm.
which, and ultimately turns into something they couldn't not have learned any other way. What
Mm-hmm.
do you say is your learning moment?
Um, One time I was migrating from one data center to another. I was actually expanding to a second data center. And I have actually 10 gig switch. So what I and I will tell you at the end what I've learned from that. So I was setting up my 10 gig switch, my two uplink, right? But I have double firewalls at every location that I have networks installed. So whenever I shut down my primary firewall, I have connection on my secondary.
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, why was that? Jim, I left my house at 3 in the morning, and then it was 11:30 in the morning that I realized that I put that one RJ45 into the wrong port. What I've learned from that is one, never do networking with your mind cluttered. Two, always make sure you got your coffee. And three, always make sure you got the patience. So that morning, my
Uh-huh.
mind was cluttered. I did not have my coffee, and I was kind of like limited on my patience. So I'm sure there's a couple of other ones, but yeah, those three definitely say coffee, no mind cluttered, coffee, and then patience. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. So, Stefano, before I let you go, I want to give you the floor. You simplified cybersecurity in a way that I think a lot of listeners needed to hear. Strong access controls, proper backups, regular updates are things that I think every business needs.
Hmm.
The fundamentals are very important. Um, if a business owner is listening right now and thinking, okay, maybe my IT is not where it should be, what is the first step they should take?
All right. So the very first one they should take, it's definitely having their firewall, a good one, right, in place. Um, Always make sure that yeah, I understand certain business owners are technology savvy, but nothing beats the actual person who's the expert in its field, right? So make sure you have an MSP provider that's all they do, that's all they focus, right? Make sure that your computers are up to date, your networking hardware equipment are also updated, your phone, right? The firmware is updated, your printers, make sure that all that security is well bundled. And then of course you'll never go wrong with having backups, right? Constant scheduled backups, daily, weekly, monthly. Matter of fact, I would say always conduct a bi-weekly backup just in case, and also a monthly archive. Because again, you never know when you're gonna wake up and then your computer just say, hey, it's being locked by a hacker, right? Or you have to pay some ransomware and then you have to go bug your insurance company so they have to pay, right? But you can prevent yourself from doing so, from all that, by having daily backup. Make sure you have a good MSP provider that specialize in what they're doing, not a one of those that can do it too. I always have to mention that because there's a lot of MSP guys out there. They become like a jack of all trade. They can do everything, right? You need that one MSP and that's all they do. They focus on make sure that your environment is safe, your IT, you got that peace of mind when it comes to the technology, right? Always run hybrids too. Hybrids is definitely always like you can have a mixture of on-premises hardware mixed with the cloud solutions. So always have that mixture.
Uh-huh.
Um, and yeah, that's actually the most I could think of as of right now. Yeah.
So if somebody's wants to explore working with JeanComputech, what's the best way to reach you?
Well, I have my actually they can reach me directly on my cell 857-869-2283. That's my actually my business cell. Or they can also send me an email at info@jeancomputech.com. So that's actually the shortest email. Otherwise, I have to say my whole name in, which is too long. So, but yeah, these are
All
the
right.
best ways.
Well, we'll include that information in the show notes too, so they can check the show notes. And
Thank you.
that's a wrap on another episode of Prophets of IT. Big thank you, Stefano, for the real talk
Thank you.
today. If this episode gave you something useful, please share and like it. Of course, sharing it with other business owners or IT leaders would be great. And until next time, don't forget to check out our sponsor, ManageProspectingSystem.com. If you're running an MSP or IT business and ready to expand beyond word of mouth and looking for done for you LinkedIn, SEO, email outreach, and more, once again, check out ManageProspectingSystem.com.
All
And
right.
make sure to stay hydrated and caffeinated. Bye for now.
All right. Thank you, Jim.